What's up? What's up? What's up? All right, so we want to welcome you to the Teaching Genius podcast. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Raheem.
And Egypt, the second hostess of the mostest.
And we have Miss, say your name for me so I don't mess it up.
Dr. Toni Sturdivant.
All right, from A&M University Commerce. All right. So we're so excited to have you here today. All right. And we're going to kick it off with my beautiful daughter with her first question.
Okay, so how long have you been an educator?
I have been a full-time educator since 2011. So that makes 11 years now.
Oh.
She got a decade in. Oh my God. Let's go.
Decade?
Yes.
Decade.
A decade plus. All right, go ahead.
Wow. What is two of your favorite things about your career? If there's more than two, then you can give me them.
Okay. Well, I like being able to be creative. And so as an educator, most of the time you have quite a bit of autonomy where you can choose what you're going to do. There are certain things that you have to teach, but you can decide how you want to go about teaching those things, what experiences you want to create or provide, what materials you want to use. And so I really enjoy being able to think of new things to try. And also when I was a classroom teacher, I really liked setting up my classroom each year. That was like the highlight. And I even would help my teacher friends set up their classrooms because I liked that so much.
Wait. So like my teachers are doing that and they're selling everything to the classroom to the kids, and it's really exciting for the kids because they really love the decorations and it's really like a happy celebrating thing.
Mm-hmm. And teachers work really hard on that. Like during the summertime, when you're on break, teachers are in the classrooms, like
just
trying to get it perfect.
Stuff, just decorating. There's like spending money on you.
Yes.
Just like
making their space.
Yeah, perfectly for you.
Listen,
doing all that hard work. Teachers work hard.
Yes, that's
for
true.
Their students.
Yeah, that's true. My passion, my little side passion is photography. But I promise you, the idea of like setting up sets sometimes like gives me the hives. So the idea that you like, yeah, I love that. I want to be the hottest teacher on Instagram with my classroom. That's amazing.
Yeah, you just find so hard when you're on break and they're supposed to be on break too. They're literally not on break. Yeah, they're just working and working. Yeah. Hard work. They're just checking all your work, going on the computer, going crazy. Okay, next question. What is your favorite thing about your career? Wait, did I already ask that question?
Yes, you did.
Okay, wait. I was like, I forgot which questions I've been asking. My memory's been a little clumsy lately. Okay, what is one thing? Then you can give me another one. You can only the limit is free.
Let's do one thing. So we get to the most important thing. So the question is, go ahead.
What is one thing? Because my dad doesn't want to do two. In the education system that you would change if you were in charge.
Okay.
If you made the whole system.
Okay. So currently our educational system works well for a particular group of people. So that's basically white, native English speakers from at least a middle class background. And this is not by chance, but by design. So I would want to design a system that considers all of the ways of being and knowing of everyone that attends our schools so that everyone is being served appropriately and not just a select group of people.
So I got a story that I haven't told yet, right? So when I was a young kid, I was probably, hold on. I was probably a little bit younger than Egypt. Egypt is 7, right? And they gave me a test to be a part of something called the Gifted and Talented program, right? Because everybody swore that I was the smartest kid they had ever seen, right? I think I just listened and did what I was supposed to do, but they told me I was smart. And I did not pass the Gifted and Talented test, right? And my mother asked some questions, and the guy made a statement to her saying, he didn't even know what a submarine was, right? Now, it was either kindergarten or first grade that I was applying to this program. The reality of it is, I live in New York City, right? We live by a beach, but you barely ever even see boats in Far Rockaway. And nobody had ever told me about a submarine.
Right.
Right. So when you say that, it just makes me think of like all of the things that don't necessarily aren't like mean. Like, it's not like it's, I understand that it's done purposely, but it's very like, it can be hidden in plain sight, right? If you live in a neighborhood that is filled with trees and grass, right, you might know what the animals and the things that happen with trees and grass. If you live in a neighborhood that's surrounded by bricks, you understand what I'm saying? Like,
right, exactly.
All about bricks.
Right. The grass in my neighborhood was yellow as a kid.
So you would think grass is only yellow.
Right.
Because what your surroundings show you is what you think is really humanity.
Right. And you kind of put people in a box where you don't have to hide anything from them. You understand what I'm saying? But if their reality is not the same as yours, you get passed over, and it's that simple. Yeah. So,
right. Exactly.
I mean, it's important. It's important. All right, go ahead.
I don't think I have anything closer to that. I was just gonna tell how I got treated differently to a lot of the white people in my class. They just like treated me differently, but I don't think I should tell it. Can you tell me 2 of your fondest memories from working with your students?
Okay, so my fondest memory from being a classroom teacher was doing home visits. I used to teach Head Start at one point, and so we had to do home visits. So I enjoyed talking to the families and being in their spaces and discussing their goals for their children with parents and grandparents. And it was cool to see where they live and to see the different ways each family was working on the same concepts at home. So like, for example, one family had an alphabet wall in their living room. So they had like all the letters and then like pictures of items that go with each letter on their living room wall.
Nice.
And that really stood out to me because these were the types of families that I often heard their parents don't care about education, and yet they had used this whole
they dedicated
wall in their living
literally
room.
where everybody comes and sees.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. And so having those sorts of things, moments really stand out to me. But now I teach adults. So I have some fun memories with them too. So like they get jobs or they go to grad school, they become teachers and they say, hey, I'm going to try out this lesson or I'm going to read this book to my kiddos. And so that I love that too. So if any of my students are listening, let me know what you're doing in your classrooms. I want to hear about it.
So this is a beautiful thing, right? Because most of the people that we speak to, right, they are more on the beginning. You see the she want the daddy attention, right? Relax, baby.
I don't.
All right. So we speak to a lot of educators who are on the beginning of that relay race, right? So being at the end, I'm trying to word it in a way where I get a little bit of emotion out of you, right? So that on graduation day, you have seen somebody come into this school, but now the place that they're going, you can literally see the finish line for them, or the beginning of that adult journey, right? So can you just give me some insight on what it feels like, you know, the joy and to bring us all the way to the finish line of graduating college.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to describe, especially for students that are first generation college students. And I know that they have just changed their whole family's trajectory by graduating college and getting a job as professional. And, you know, that the impact of being that first person to do that lasts for generations and generations, because now everyone else knows someone that graduated and they can ask them something.
And that example is so, once it's tangible, you can't move it away from it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's the beautiful thing about that. Once once I've seen it, I think that's the gift and the curse of like an Instagram, right? Because we live in a world now where if you kind of think it's possible, somebody gonna show you like, not, I did that a couple months ago.
Right.
Like you late, matter of fact.
Yes.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right. Go ahead.
Okay, fine. Last one. What advice would you give to your younger self when you were training for this field?
And the beautiful thing about this is you literally have to do that every single day, right?
Yeah, I train people for this field now as my job. I'm trying not to think about this as a professor perspective of all of the like theoretical things that I wish I had known. But from a teaching standpoint and being prepared for the classroom, I think that I did a pretty good job on making my decisions. I actually did an alternative route to teaching certification. So I got a master's degree in education before I was certified to be a teacher. And I think that was a good choice because when I first entered the classroom, I had a whole lot of knowledge about education and curriculum and things like that I think a lot of beginning teachers don't have because people don't typically start teaching with a master's degree. So I guess my advice would be to stay the course. You might not be doing it the way that people normally do it, but it's going to work out for you in the end.
Nice. So what about, give me a little bit more game for the younger years, right? So like I said, you're at the finish line where they've made that decision, right? Mm-hmm. But the beautiful thing is you also know what it takes to get to that point, right? So for most of us, Black and brown, right? Mm-hmm. Our children, if we didn't do it, this is going to be the first time somebody's done it, right? So give me some of the tried and trues that you've seen work to get those students to that point of their first day in school, and that's going to take them into their last day when they're graduating.
So one thing that I tell my students, my undergraduate students, is that when you're training to be a teacher, you're not just trying to get a grade in a class. There is a certification exam at the end of the process. And so you have to actually know the stuff. Like maybe these are not textbooks that you want to return to the bookstore. They might be things you want to keep so you can study them later. Because years go by before you finish your degree. And so I think that is the biggest thing that my bit of advice that I give my students is this is bigger than the grade in the course, even though GPA of course is important. But if you have a 4.0 GPA at the end and don't pass the teaching certification, you're still not going to be a teacher. So you have to actually internalize the learning so that you can do well, not just on the test, but do well for the kids. Because when they show up on the first day, they're not like, oh, you just got out of school. They show up like, Mrs. Such and Such, I'm ready to learn. You just have to get it together. So you have to know it. And then also don't be afraid to reach out to professors for help. I think a lot of K through 12 teachers scare people about college. Professors don't care about you. They're not going to help you. And that's not true. I mean, there may be some professors like that, but it's definitely not true for me. I have students that text me, that call me and ask, can you jump on a Zoom meeting real quick? I just have some questions. And it is all perfectly fine. So most of us are here to help. And so, but we don't know if you need help unless you tell us. So reach out and ask, even if you don't know, you don't have an exact question, even if you're just like, I'm just confused, can you help? We probably can help you. So it can be intimidating, I guess, when you see Dr. such and such or, PhD or whatever, but we're just regular people too. And we ultimately want to see you succeed.
I love that. And believe it or not, I'm sure that advice holds true to a first grader, to a fifth grader, to a senior in high school. Those people are there because of their passion. You understand what I'm saying? And that they want to see you win. They're not here to see you lose. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, we can't get no better than that. We want to thank you for coming on our show.
Yes, thank you.
We really appreciate your time. And we just want to say, keep killing it, man. Keep killing it. Keep inspiring and bringing so much of what's needed to change this world, which is educators.
Thank you. And I just want to say to Egypt, keep doing what you're doing, because you are such an inspiration to so many people, not just kids, but also adults. There's a lot of adults out there that want to write a book and haven't started yet. And so, you're inspiring more than just kids. So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right, guys. See y'all next week on the Teaching Genius podcast.
See ya.